Chelsea won, Aston Villa won. I didn't do an immediate reaction because I knew what was coming. And when it came, I wasn't even disappointed because I was expecting it. I was expecting a worse result, to be fair. I was expecting a 3-1 loss. And we ended up getting 1-1 despite playing well. I have to be completely fair. But I'm not surprised. And I know that we are now, right now, it's a crisis. It is a crisis. It's clearly a crisis. The manager needs a bit of luck to get out of this crisis. And honestly, I don't see the luck coming. But we'll get to the match and what we can do to improve going forward. Before I do that, please guys, if you haven't already, please leave a like on this video, and especially if you're new, please subscribe to this channel. It means a lot to me if you do. The more subscribers I get, the happier I am, because I'm a new channel and I'm trying my best to give you good content that you'll be happy with, honest content. I'm not hiding behind trying to be too politically correct. I'm telling it as it is, as I feel, and I thank you guys for supporting me, whoever is here. So please do, if you're new, subscribe to this channel, leave a like on the like section, and get engaged. Tell me what you think Chelsea should do now to improve, what your lineup would be going forward. If there's a sacking, who would your manager be, new manager be, and just in general, what should Frank Lampard do to get back on the side of the fans, honestly, because he's lost most of the I think most of the fan base he's lost over the last 2-3 weeks. And yeah, let's get to the match reaction. I thought we played well in this game, to be fair. We should have won this game. We created more than enough, but again, the lack of mental strength of this team is so clear to see. What Frank Lampard did, I would have predicted before the game. He would have dropped Werner and Havertz. It's clear. He would have. He's not going to start Werner up front yet. When I saw his pre-match interview, he talked about the strikers, and he mentioned Tammy Abraham and Olivier Giroud, saying they're both in form, so it's a difficult choice for him. And so he doesn't even see Timo Werner as a striker. So right now, the honest truth is he's not going to start Timo Werner as a striker, as much as we like it, and that might be his downfall. But you know, he's willing to swing by this, for at least for now. So when the lineup was pretty predictable. No real surprises. Wait. It was not. It was. Let me get. Actually, there were a lot of surprises. What I meant to say was no surprises from the midfield going forward. There were surprises in the back, and this is what I will have to get to Lamps for this. Andreas Christensen, after all the crimes of last season, because it was borderline criminal what he did to do. He's being paid to protect and be a good defender for Chelsea Football Club, and he does the exact opposite, and he did for much of last season. And again, he was rewarded today with a start. For me, always the fourth choice center back, in my mind anyway, was Tomori, not Christensen. Christensen there's the door, and I don't want to see this Danish fraud. He's not good enough for this club, and I'm sorry to use that word fraud, but he is a fraud. He's an academy boy, but he's a fraud. Tomori is 10 times better than Andreas Christensen. Hands down, a better defender. The only thing Christensen has is he's a good ball-playing defender. But for me, that doesn't mean much when you make so many mistakes defensively. And again, today, his lack of I guess manhood, you could say. I think it's fair to say. It's what cost us the goal. We were in complete control, looking to score the second goal, and against the run of play, Christensen gets in a collision with a player and goes down, and he wasn't injured. He was not injured. He tried to feign an injury, and he left a vacancy in our defense. And Azpilicueta was trying to mark two guys, and in the end, ended up going nowhere. And I think it was El Ghazi who equalized. We were in complete control. We played well. We were dominating this game. And that moment of lapse by Christensen cost us. And who picked Christensen? It's Lampard. He keeps trusting this guy. It's as if he doesn't understand the basics of defending. Frank Lampard is not as intelligent a manager as I thought he would be, because he's such an intelligent man. Remember, he has an IQ of something like 155. That's like almost 25 more than me, which is amazing. Not that I'm amazing. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is he's a very intelligent guy. Sometimes that doesn't equate clearly to being an intelligent manager, but I thought he would have seen this, that Andreas Christensen is a problem. in our defense. He doesn't work. And there was nothing that Thiago Silva and Kurt Zuma did that was bad enough to get dropped. And certainly not to rotate together in the same match. Who does that? No professional manager that I know would rotate both the center backs. That's astonishingly poor management. And again, that poor piece of management cost us. And it's down to Christensen, but it's down to Lamps. He's the one who picked Christensen. And today I just saw a match with Ole and Man United versus Wolves, and Wolves were majority of the game were the better team. But again, they have that mental strength, that mental fortitude to come through these games and somehow find a winner. A deflected effort, a bit of luck. But they get that luck. They make their own luck because they found a way. They found a way, and we haven't found a way. And this is the big difference. I find Ole, he might not have a particular style of play, but he knows where who his best players are and what their best positions are. You don't see Bruno Fernandes playing CDM. You don't see Rashford playing anywhere but left or right wing. Most of the time left wing, but then sometimes he'll switch over to the right, especially when Cavani comes on and Martial moves to the left. He has an idea, and he knows what his best lineup is, clearly, in his head anyway. Some Man United fans might want to put Van der Beek in there, but he knows what his best lineup is. Lamps doesn't. Lamps absolutely doesn't. Lamps has not found a way to get the best out of Timo Werner. For Kai Havertz is a project not for today, it's for the future. I completely get that. You know what? Kai Havertz, I can let him off because I know he'll come good eventually. He's too good not to. And there's a few friends of mine who say that he won't. I don't believe that. I genuinely believe in his talent, and I think he will come good. Worst case scenario, he becomes like a Pogba, but I just don't see it. I think I've seen enough of this kid in the Bundesliga, especially after the restart, to say this guy has mental strength. He's not showing it right now. New league, new circumstances, manager not really playing to his strengths, all those things considered. So I'm not losing faith with Kai Havertz. What I'm really angry with Lamps is the way, yes, Timo Werner has missed a lot of chances, but you've kept playing him in the left wing. Timo Werner, even at Leipzig, is the kind of guy that got 10 or 12 chances to score 3 or 4, and he's a bit like Salah. Salah gets a lot of chances, he misses them, but he scores as well. He misses a lot of chances. The difference is when you're playing on the left wing, because he's not their natural left winger, he doesn't get as many chances as he does when he plays up front. Therefore, his misses are amplified, and it looks a lot more critical, and it affects his confidence because he knows the next chance is not coming that easily. And this is affecting his confidence. The only way to get rid of this, get out of this mental block, is if he gets a few penalties, or he gets a chance and he converts it, or he play him up front. That's what every single Chelsea fan honestly wants to see. Timo Werner as a striker. He's a 34 goal a season striker. 34. Not a single, not Tammy or not Abraham has ever scored 34 goals playing up front. Bundesliga is not some run-of-the-mill league. It's not a farmers league. It's a proper league. The European champions are from Bundesliga. Leipzig, who are, I think, joint top of the table, they are doing that without Werner, and they they're a proper team without the individuals maybe, but they have good individuals still, but a manager who knows what he's doing, and it's a proper league, and Haaland is playing there, and likeliness is we're going to go in for him in the summer. So Frank Lampard has to find a way to get Timo Werner on his side, because otherwise he'll get sacked. It's as simple as that. One thing I'm a bit surprised by, and I have to be completely fair, is the patience of Roman. Because after Aston Villa, I was looking at the phone for the next one day, I guess, and just waiting for the news that Frank Lampard has been relieved of his duties, because that's what I expected, honestly, because that's what happens at Chelsea, and that is what the culture is, and it's worked for us. But then again, this is a younger group, and there is that consensus that this younger group is not ready to win. And I totally agree with that. I'm talking about the title. They're not ready to win the title. But certainly not being top 4 would be a massive failure with this team. That is the bare minimum. An absolute bare minimum with this team. So there is still time, but what can he do to improve things for Chelsea Football Club? The first thing he can do is play a 4-2-3-1. 4-2-3-1, go back to basics, or 4-4-1-1, however you want to call it, the old school way of playing. Back four, we know what the back four is. No Christensen, not even on the bench. I wouldn't even keep Christensen on the bench. In fact, I would sell him. I would sell him in January. January is coming up very soon, 2 days from now. He's a criminal in terms of making mistakes. He's an absolute criminal. How many get out of jail free cards is this guy going to get? Let him go. Let him go. Quick. Rudiger, despite being more error prone than him, is actually better because we've seen Rudiger play this season and be solid. Christensen, whenever he comes in, is an absolute disaster. A Danish fraud. He's a Danish fraud. That's what he is. He's one of my least liked Chelsea players. He has no backbone. He's Jonathan Stones version 2.0, but Jonathan Stones at least has won some titles. They are both soft. They are soft to the core. Their very core, their very core is soft, and I don't trust players like this. So I would definitely get rid of Christensen. My back four would be Zuma and Thiago Silva as center back. Reece James or Aspilicueta, depending on opposition, I would rotate. Reece James does good going forward, but then again, he seems like sometimes he's off the pace. Chilwell left back. Now in midfield, last year's player of the year, I'm going to bench him because he's been absolutely disgraceful. Kovacic done nothing this season, so off to the bench you go, Kovacic. Show me you're worth something, because you haven't been worth anything so far. And in the midfield, I would then go with N'Golo Kante. As self-explanatory. Even despite Chelsea having a bad season, Kante personally is having a great season. He's still leading in tackles and interceptions in the league. I believe it's somewhere in the 30s. So they would be my double pivot. Going forward, Hakim Ziyech on the right. Kai Havertz as the cam. And Pulisic starting as the left winger, with Timo Werner playing up front. That is the team every single Chelsea fan in the world loves to see. The fact that Frank Lampard doesn't see it is so concerning, because initially all Chelsea fans thought because of injuries he's having to play Tammy Abraham, Mason Mount, and all these guys, giving them such a prominent role in the team. And I understand that to an extent. And I totally understand that to an extent, having to play Tammy Abraham and Mason Mount, giving them a big role. However, not to the detriment of the main guys of the team. Remember, Frank Lampard had personally called these guys on the phone, Havertz and Werner, and convinced them to join Chelsea Football Club. Act like it. Honestly. You're not giving them a fair chance. You're paying them out of position and expecting miracles. These guys are not what you and Ballack and and Drogba and Essien, what these guys were. They were 20. You guys were 26, 27 when you were together, and you had that intelligence, the know-how, the experience to be flexible. These guys have played in certain positions and excelled, and you're not playing him in those positions. Timo Werner is a forward, a striker. He is not a winger. You have to trust him as a striker. And if you don't, you've basically wasted the money. He's such a good striker. Look at when he gets in those positions early in the season, last season. You can tell he's clinical because he keeps making the run and gets in those great positions. And it's so frustrating to see him being wasted on the wing. And it's so sad that you can't see that. My prediction is he will not play this lineup, the 4-2-3-1. Again, let me go back to what I'm saying. Mendy at the back, that's obvious. Aspi or James, or depending on the opposition. Thiago Silva and Zuma and Chilwell make up the back four. Jorginho and Kante at the back. Sorry, I didn't actually talk about Jorginho. I would pick Jorginho just because of his experience. And if Frank Lampard has he wants to force Mason Mount into the team, then of course Mason Mount will play in there ahead of Jorginho, because I think Mount can play that role, and Frank Lampard loves Mason Mount. We all know that he is clearly biased towards him, and there's no other explanation. Yes, he merits a place in the team, but there's a Havertz plays in a certain formation, in a certain style of play, and we haven't tried that. And in order to try that, I feel like Mason Mount's best position could be this position, deeper with Kante as a deep line playmaker, as one of the two pivots. So Mason Mount and then Havertz is number 10, Ziyech and Pulisic on the wing, and the Werner up top. Make Callum Hudson-Odoi a more prominent person in the team, not just 60 minutes here and there. The treatment he gets from Lampard is extremely harsh. and undeserved, because whenever he's played, he's been productive. But because he's made a few errors defensively early on in his career, Frank Lampard has shunned him from the team, which is very sad to see, because it's getting into the area of Arteta, where Arteta has treat certain players in a certain way, despite them doing the same kind of mistakes. Lampard's doing the same. Tammy Abraham, Mason Mount can miss a few chances and have bad games, but they're not going to get benched or dropped. Callum Hudson-Odoi has one bad game, and we don't see him for 2 months. That's a fact, and that's so unfortunate, because he's better talent-wise than both Mason Mount and Tammy Abraham. He has more individual quality, 100%. So that's what I would go for. That's what I would do. The other option is, if there's injuries, I would play Mason Mount as an emergency attacking mid or a winger, depending on injuries. I think he can do that role well, but I really want to see Havertz and Werner play up top. That's my thing, man. I'm not Lampard in. I'm not Lampard. I'm more leaning towards Lampard out. Because I can't see that this guy can't. If he doesn't see the error of his ways, he won't turn around, and he's failed to see the error of his ways so far. So he's put the players under the bus. He's put everyone under the bus. He got a response from the players, but not the result. I don't know who he's blaming. Maybe he's blaming bad luck for that. I honestly blame him, because he picked Christensen, and Christensen let him down. And let's see how he reacts, because remember, he picked Alonso. Alonso let him down, and we've not seen Alonso since. Christensen has been equally culpable as Alonso, making mistake after mistake after mistake after mistake after mistake. Still getting picked. And it's frustrating, because we know that Christensen is going to make a mistake. He's a fraud. Just like Alonso defensively is a fraud. Christensen in general as a defender is a fraud. He can pass the ball, but he's not a holding midfield player. He's not a deep lying playmaker. That's not his main criteria. His main criteria is to defend and is to be solid. He has none of those things. So this is the lineup I would go for. Honestly, knowing Frank Lampard, he won't go for this lineup. He won't go for a 4-2-3-1. He'll play his boy Mason Mount. He'll play his boy Tammy Abraham. He'll play his boy Reece James. Reece James is warranted. He's been in great form. He'll find a way to get Kovacic in the team, even though Kovacic has been playing absolutely rubbish. And he'll do with his favoritism. He will put Timo Werner once again back on the wing, and that's how we'll go until I guess he loses his job, and he's probably not far away from the axe. He's probably 1 or 2 bad results away. Remember, the pack that we're with, they can potentially run away from us now, because I don't see us getting points. I don't see us getting wins. I can see us getting a draw here and there, maybe a win against a bottom team in the bottom half of the table. Even then, that's not guaranteed. Arsenal are at the bottom half of the table, and they beat us. So that's not guaranteed. Frank Lampard has absolutely he has to improve. The team has to improve. The team has been mismanaged completely. The team has let themselves down very badly. The team is soft. I've said so before. Man United's team is mentally stronger. Arsenal's team is mentally stronger. This is a bunch of very soft guys mentally. Everybody has no backbone. Maybe Azpilicueta, Kante, and Thiago Silva are the exceptions, and Jorginho maybe. The rest of them have no backbone. But to be fair, it looks as if for now Roman is being patient. It's a bit strange, So Frank Lampard has to move to this formation to get results, in my opinion, and we might suffer in the short term, because remember, the confidence of Havertz and Werner is at an all-time low. So there might be a few games where they need to get the confidence back, playing in their preferred positions. And it might take a good while, but I'll still play this formation, because I know that if we get Havertz and Werner backfiring back to their very best, then we can go on a 4 or 5 match winning run for sure. There's enough talent there to get us there. Ziyech as well to come. So there is enough talent there to get us to the level we want to be. Remember, Man United last season were rubbish until probably mid-January, and we might be similar, because we need to get all our big hitters back, Ziyech back. We need to play Werner and Havertz in their preferred position instead of isolating them and treating them like we treat Marcos Alonso, because Marcos Alonso deserves that treatment, because he for years made mistakes. Christensen is not getting that treatment despite making mistakes for years. So this double standard might cost Lampard his job, but we'll see. Right now, I've named, I guess, my terms to see what I think will save Lampard his job, and I think that's the 4-2-3-1. Starting with Havertz and Werner, Havertz number 10, Werner up top, Pulisic, Ziyech on the wings, Kovacic, sorry, not Kovacic, Kante and Mason Mount as the pivots, and then the back four and goalkeeper, which we all agree is our best lineup. So that's what I would go for in terms of the Chelsea lineup. Tell me what you guys think. Do you guys think that's the logical lineup? What would you guys do for Manchester City? How would you line up? I honestly think Lamps' time is coming to a close, and in that game, he has to, at the very least, get a draw. Even then, that might not be enough. Winning would be amazing in terms of self-belief and confidence, and that would definitely keep his job for at least a couple of more games. But he's under the chopping block for sure, and he has to try this formation sooner rather than later. Maybe in the Man City game, he will have to go back to what he thinks is best for the team, because it's a must-not-lose game. Direct rivals for the top 4 positions. So that's what I would do. I would long-term switch to a 4-2-3-1. Man City game, I don't know, maybe switch to a 4-3-3, but do something like play Pulisic on the left. Do what he did on against Aston Villa. I thought it was a better performance. Giroud scored, and again, a predictable goal, Chilwell crossing, Giroud scoring. Not enough chance conversion, in my opinion, despite having so much possession, despite having a lot of territorial advantage. We didn't do enough, in my opinion. A lot to do with the midfield. I don't think we have a natural creator in there without Havertz or Ziyech. These are things that Frank Lampard has to figure out, and I've told you what I would do. I would play my strongest lineup, strongest 11 talent-wise in the team. I would bench Tammy and Giroud. I would definitely start Werner up front. I want to see Pulisic, Ziyech, and Havertz play together. That's the dream. Remember Mata, Hazard, and Oscar, how good they were for us. I want something like that, and I just want to see something that all the fans want to see. We all want to see this, Frank. Please make it happen. You probably won't, but anyways, guys, this was just what I think what Chelsea needs to do to improve things. I hope this happens. I don't think it will. I think Frank Lampard is going to lose his job very soon. Anyways, guys, I'll see you guys later. Until then.